Welcome back to the channel everyone. This is Vikram and that is the all new Tata Safari Dark, and that is the top of the line diesel automatic. Without any delay, let's get started. So guys, this is the front aspect of the all new Safari. It looks very fresh and minimal. This being the dark edition, everything is finished in black, including this portion of the logo, and the chrome as well is not bright chrome. It is kind of dulled, and as you can see, it's very plain in the front. And coming to the headlamps, we have projector setup over here and we have Safari badging over here. That is the amount of attention to detail this car has. And over here we have indicator, which is again a projector, and this is a functional air vent. And if you see that, air channels from there to here to cool down the brake disc and the tire and all that stuff. So I'll show you guys the key of the car. It's very fancy, right? This is not the key itself. Actually, it's covered with this beautiful M colored cover. Over here we have front parking camera under the Tata logo, and we have front parking sensors, and this is the ADAS panel of the car. That is what creates all that magic, that adaptive braking, adaptive cruise control and all that stuff. So coming to the side aspect of the car, as you can see, this is where it looks kind of different compared to the Harrier. We have a Safari badging over there. And coming to the tires, these tires come from MRF Wanderer, and the tire size happens to be 245/55 R19, 19-inch wheels on front as well as in the rear, and 4 disc brakes. Actually, the calipers could have been black. That would have been really fantastic, but even this looks amazing. So we have fuel lid over there, and this portion, this is where it completely differs from the Tata Harrier. So on the rear we have Safari badging. Apart from that, there is absolutely nothing. And if I wave my foot like this, the boot opens. As you can see, it is a power tailgate, which is a brilliant feature. Boot is not very huge, but if we fold the third row of seats, boot will be adequate. If I wave my foot again like this, it actually makes a delay of 10 to 15 seconds, so that we'll have time to come back. And even there is proximity sensor on the boot, so that it won't fall on our head. And over here we have LEDs again, all LEDs on this car, but this thing is a halogen. This is actually a brake light, and it doubles up as a reverse light as well. Only that is halogen. Apart from that, every single thing on this car is an LED. Over here we have a subtle spoiler with beautiful shark fin antenna, and in the rear we have diffuser sort of treatment. But this being the dark edition, everything is black, even the alloys, logos, everything. So this looks fantastic. No functional roof rails as such. Over here we have dark badging, and this is not completely chrome colored, that is actually dull chrome. And over here we have a parking camera on both the ORVMs, so I can turn around this car all day long. That is how beautiful the car is. Let me quickly get into the rear seat of the car. So coming to the door, we have leather upholstery over here, and this is actually perforated. We have built-in sun blinds, as you can see, and this is again piano black. Even in the interior there's no chrome. Every bright element is made out of piano black. As you can see, the feel of the buttons is fantastic. Actually, I was mistaken. The door handles are finished in chrome. So we have 2 captain seats in the middle row, and in the third row we have a proper bench seat. Even they can be folded into 50-50. The most amazing feature is the rear seats are ventilated. We have ISOFIX child seat mounts, proper functional seat belts, and headrests as well. So in the rear we have fantastic comfort, and the best feature is, if someone sits on the co-passenger side rear seat, you'll have the liberty to move the front seat using these buttons, so that you can have as much legroom as you want. So coming to the rear seat, seats are extremely comfortable. They're ventilated, headroom is more than adequate, and we have these functional sun blinds. So rear is a fantastic car. This is a proper chauffeur driven car, but you can have fun even while driving. let us get into the driving seat and see how fun this car is. So guys, we have a request sensor on the driver's side door, and as I said, we have leather upholstery on the door, and that is perforated with this tri-arrow pattern and regular power window controls. Apart from that, there is nothing on the driver's side seat to keep it minimal. And over here we have 3 memory functions for the driver's seat. This is actually a ventilated seat and it's got 6-way power adjustment, and the co-passenger seat can be adjusted in 4 ways. Even that is power adjustable. So let me get into the car. So this is how the dash of the all-new Safari looks, and on the steering wheel we have an illuminated Tata logo. If I turn the car off, this thing shuts down, and whenever I turn it on, this thing glows. As you can see, we have a completely digital TFT instrument cluster, and we have a 12.5-inch infotainment system over here. Everything is piano black, even the steering wheel, dashboard, everything is piano black. And on the upper half of the dash we have proper leather sort of finishing, and even on the lower half there's no plastic. In the entire car, only few regions are made out of hard plastics. Apart from that, everything is very premium. So on the steering wheel right side we have controls for ADAS and cruise control, and on the left side these buttons help us to operate that 12.5-inch instrument cluster or infotainment system. And the cluster has a lot of information. As you can see, I can use these buttons to browse through the cluster. Now it's showing us the steering direction, and whenever we change the driving mode, it does a sound. It's got 3 driving modes: Eco, City and Sport. And in order to change the terrain modes, we have a rotary dial over here, and this thing actually has a screen, which is again a fantastic feature. These are to control the AC. It's got dual zone climate control AC, and over here on the center console everything is piano black, and this is the electric parking brake of the car, and this is the auto hold function, and the gear lever looks fantastic. This is completely inspired from the Range Rover Sport. And over here we have 3 cup holders with an armrest and a lot of space inside the armrest, along with a 12-volt charging socket. So guys, that is pretty much about the interior and exterior of the all-new Tata Safari. Let us see how this thing feels to drive, because this car has got some excellent torque, and let us actually test how this car feels to drive. So guys, I'm currently sitting in the driving seat of the all-new Tata Safari Diesel Automatic. This is the top of the line variant, dark edition. So let us actually see how this thing feels to drive. Into drive mode. Car is already on and parking brake off. So in spite of its weight and size, this car is actually easy to maneuver and drive. That is because of the turning radius of the car. So first things first, this car has got a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine, and it produces 170 PS of power and 350 Newton meters of torque. This being a diesel engine, it's got a lot of torque and it feels torquey to drive. And whenever we rev the car, that is how it sounds. It actually sounds like a petrol car with exhaust. If you can hear that, this actually sounds crazy. It doesn't feel like a diesel car. And coming to the NVH levels, car is so silent. It is it doesn't let any sounds or anything inside the cabin. It is well insulated. And coming to the harshness, there's no harshness. This is a 4-cylinder engine. In spite of being a big diesel engine, it doesn't feel jerky or anything of that sort. This runs on a 6-speed torque converter gearbox. This gearbox is actually derived from Hyundai Tucson, but initially the first gen Harrier came with a raw gearbox. This is completely refined. Even though it is the exact same gearbox, this is now well refined and well tuned. So the transmission makes the car feel even torqueier. As the most of we even have paddle shifters. So paddle shifters are not completely operable as such. At instances, this thing refuses to give you a downshift. Like if you're in 6th gear, it won't let you get into 3rd or 4th gears. It is kind of sequential in that sense. So we need to press the pedal a couple of times to get into a lower gear. Apart from that, the transmission is fantastic. And as I said, we have 3 driving modes, and you can immediately feel the throttle response differ in each driving mode. In Eco and City, throttle response is not fantastic, but in sport drive mode, it doesn't feel like a heavy car whatsoever. The moment you throttle the car, it just flies, it takes off. And because of big 19-inch wheels and discs on all the 4 brakes, the braking is fantastic. You don't have any issue with the braking. At the same time, throttle response, as I said, it doesn't make you feel that you're driving a huge car. It feels like you're driving a sedan. That is how stable the car is. Past 120 kmph, that sound is kind of not very enjoyable, but this car is quite stable. Even in triple digit speeds, you won't realize that you're doing triple digit speeds. That is how stable the car is. Initially I thought it would be bouncy, but that is not at all the case. This is actually a proper 2-wheel drive car. It is not a 4-wheel drive. In off-road situations, that might be an issue, but on plain highways and on during long distance cruising, this makes you feel extremely comfortable because the car is quite stable. Suspension is not very stiff. At the same time, it is not very soft. Soft suspension makes you makes the car feel bouncy. But this thing doesn't bounce whatsoever. It is very stable. And as you can see, we have got a lot of cameras, and I will demonstrate you guys the ADAS features of the car. We don't have proper lane markings, so let us see how ADAS works. I have turned this on. So first I turned the lane keep assist on. So the lane keep assist is active right now. As you can see, I completely took my hands off the steering wheel. Actually, it will ask me to touch the steering wheel for every couple of seconds. It won't let you sleep completely. So as you can see, I'm just touching the steering wheel. But if you are deviating from the lane, it corrects itself. It is actually precise. It is very precise. And as you can see, it is pushing me back into the lane. But trust me, it is. I don't feel very confident using these features. I have tested the ADAS extensively on the XUV 7W. If you want to see that video, you can tap somewhere over here. I'll just put the link. And in this car, ADAS is good actually. The lane keep assist works well because lane markings are not at all perfect here. We only have single lane that too marked in the middle of the road. For that, it is working like very good. And coming to adaptive cruise control, there's not much traffic over here, so I just can't test it. But let us see if at times ADAS doesn't work perfectly. But in terms of driving feel, this car is fantastic. It doesn't make you feel like you're driving some modern electric stuff. The sound is fantastic. Everything else is very nice. The feel of this car is too good. Original Tata Safari fans initially hated this Safari, but trust me, this is as good as the original. But the purpose of both the cars is completely different. That is kind of off-road oriented, rugged car. This is all about comfort, long distance cruising and all that stuff. So in that sense, this car is perfect because it's got 4 ventilated seats, electric adjust for the front, both the front seats, and a lot of ADAS features, and driving feel is something else. So if you ask me, is it worth spending over 30 lakhs for this car? I would definitely say yes, because we have a couple of electric cars in the market which cost more than 30 lakhs and they are not worth that price. I'm not comparing this with anything else, but for this price and these features, this car feels so good. This car directly rivals with the XUV 700. I have driven both the cars extensively, so I think I can comment. I won't say this is better than that. Both the cars are on par with each other. That is of different purpose. This is of different purpose. This is more, rugged. This car has more rugged appeal and more stance than the 700. That is more tech-oriented car. So, if you're more tech kind of person, you can go for 700. Or if you're someone who'd like the rugged appeal of the car, this is the car for you. It is not very rugged as such. Even this is a very advanced car in terms of tech, but compared to the 700, this car has that macho stance. So guys, that is my review of the all new Tata Safari. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video real soon. Until then, this is Vikram signing off.